So to get started with this one, I'm just going to press Shift A, search for a mesh, go to icosphere. I'm going to give it 5 subdivisions. Then I'll right click it and shade smooth. Then I just pointed my camera at it and out the focal length till we have a nice view. Then in the shading workspace, I have my 3D viewport set up and I have my node editor. So then for the lighting, I'm going to be using the cycles renderer because we are going to be using some displacement. You can, however, make this material without the displacement if you'd like, and it'd still look pretty decent, but obviously it will look better with actual displacement. So I'm using the cycles renderer, and then I just uncheck scene world to have the built-in Force 3D lighting. And then on the cycles renderer over here, I'm also using the experimental instead of the supported feature set so we can get that actual displacement later on. Then I'll press new. I'm going to type in emerald ore. Obviously, you can change whatever color you want, so it doesn't have to be emerald. I'm just using emerald because I've already made a ruby ore before, and so but I think this one's better than the last one, and so I like improving in that way. Anyways, to get started, we're going to want to enable the Node Wrangler add-on, so we have the shortcut, so edit preferences, add-ons, and search up Node Wrangler and check this box. So then I'm going to do the bump first, so I'll hit Shift A. I'm going to search for a Voronoi texture here. Then with this selected, I'll press Control T like so. Then I'm going to take our objects from the texture coordinate into the vector of the mapping. Then with this select, I'm just going to drag it over here. And I'm going to take this Voronoi and move it all the way down here like this. Then I'll press Shift, hold right click over this line to give us this extra node guy so that we can stay more organized. Then I'll Control Shift and left click this noise texture to preview him. So we're actually going to be duplicating him. So I'm going to press Control Shift and D down here. So we have 2 of them. But on this bottom guy, I'm going to switch from F1 to distance to edge. So if I Control Shift left click this top guy a second time, it's going to show us the color. And then if I Control Shift and left click this Voronoi, we can see that they're the exact same shape when they're the same scales, which is super cool. So then I'm going to press Shift A. I'm going to search for a value node, and we're going to use this to control their scales. So currently I'll switch this to a 5 real quick, and then plug that into each of their scales so that we can change them in sync. Nice. And then one more time, I'm going to hit Shift and hold right click over these 2 purple lines, and then grab them and move them in here so that everything's organized like so. So then we're going to use these and mix them together to give us some cool effects. So I'll hit Shift A, search for a mix RGB node. I'll put that here. Then I'm going to press Shift A and I'm going to search for a math node up here. And then I'll cut these lines off because I don't need them. Then I'll press Shift D on this math node like this. So on this top one, I'm going to change the function to greater than. And currently I'm going to change the value or to the threshold to a 0. Then I'm going to take the color from this guy into the value. But currently, if we preview him, it's just going to stay all white. If we bring it up to half, it is going to be 50-50. And currently on this one, it's going to be a 0, and that's because it's our base, and we're going to be using 3 different levels of detail, and it'll get smaller as we go up, essentially. But for this one, we'll leave it on a 0. So we're going to take this distance, plug it into this value, then we'll change the function to greater than, and then I'm going to change the threshold to a 0.025. So if we Control Shift and left click him, we can see now that we have our basically the same pattern, except it's solid black and solid white, which is good for masks, which is what this is going to be for. So then on this mix, we're going to take this guy into the factor, and this guy into color 2, and color 1 is going to be black. So if we preview them, it looks exactly the same as the one before. Nice. So now that we have this, this is our main bit for our bump. So I'm just going to select everything here and press Control and J, which is going to put these guys in a frame like this. So then I'm just going to Control Shift and D to duplicate this and move it up. So now we have 2 of them. And then if I hit Shift R, it repeats the action. So I have 3. Nice. So I'm just going to organize this a little bit better and grab all this guy and move them down. Now we have 3 of these guys. And so we can change the scale to give us some more organic looks. So if I Control Shift and left click this middle guy, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the value on him to a 6. So it's slightly smaller. And then I'm going to change the threshold to a 0.5. So it's only taking up half. So then for the color 1, or actually I'll plug this into color 2 because why not? It will be the other one. So now we have 2 different sizes sort of working together like this. And that's super sweet. Then on this top guy, I'll preview this end guy. We're going to change the value to a 7. And then the greater than threshold, I'll change to a 1 divided by 3, which is 1/3. And then take this color up into color 2, just like this. So now we have it affecting, actually we need to change this to a 2/3, so 0.666, just like that. So yeah, anyways, now Now we have it affecting a third of everything. So currently we go from this to this, and now we have 3 levels of detail in the rock size. Awesome. Now I'm just going to affect that into our bump. So I'm going to grab this guy, move him down one more time. Shift A, search for bump node, just like this. Take this color into our height. Take the normal into the normal. And then Control Shift left click this guy. And as you can see here, we have our cool bump pattern like so. Now this next step is we're going to be factoring into the bump of the actual rock instead of just the shapes. So I'm going to press Shift A. I'm going to search for a noise texture like so. I'm going to take this vector into the noise texture. Then I'm going to Control Shift and left click to preview him. I'll press Shift A, search for a map range node like this, and then plug that in after the preview, just like this. Now on this scale for this guy, I'm going to change him to a 3. And then the detail, I'll move up to a 12, and the roughness to a 0.75. Then on this map range, I'm going to bring the values in a little bit. I'm going to bring the from minimum to a 0.2. And then from max to a 0.8 to give us some more contrast. Then the to maximum value, I'm going to bring to a 0.15. And then we're going to duplicate this map range node right here because we are going to be affecting the sort of in between and the rock differently. So I'm going to Control Shift D on this guy. And then on him, I'm just going to change the to max to a 1 again. So if we preview him, we have this, and then we preview the other one, we have this. Nice, so now we're just going to put this into a mix node. So I'll press Shift A, search for a mix RGB, take this color as the factor, this map range into color 1, and this one into color 2. So now if we Control Shift and left click, we can see that we have the brick, or the rock, I should say, appearing much higher than the in-betweens, which is what we want. Then I'm just going to take this bump node, I'll press Shift D and duplicate him. Then take this color from our new mix node into the height, then this normal into this normal, and change the strength to a 0.5. Now if we preview our shader with Control Shift and left click, we can see that we sort of have our bump appearing. This is obviously without the displacement because we'll do that at the end. So now we need to factor in some color. So to do that, we're going to decide where we want there to be the actual emerald in the ore. So I'm going to press Shift A. I'm going to search for a Musgrave texture to do this. I'm going to bring this vector up here like so. Then I'll hit Shift A. I'm going to search for another map range node like this. Take this height into our value and Control Shift left click to preview him. Then on this Musgrave texture, we're going to be changing quite a few things. I'm going to take the FBM and I'm going to change him to a hybrid multifractal. Then the scale, I'll drop down to a 3. The detail, I'm going to crank it up something like a 14. The dimension, we'll crank that down something like a 0.5. So we get some sort of variation in there. And the lacunarity, I'm going to bring up to a 5 to give us these little variations in here. Then the offset, I'm going to bring down to a negative 0.11 just to adjust our stuff like that. So as we can see here, the white is where our emerald ore is going to be. Then this gain, I'm going to bring all the way up to a 10 so that we have a lot better contrast happening. Then on this map range, I'm just going to bring the from max down to a 0.25 to up the contrast a little bit more and give us the more emerald, the little shininess effect that we're going to want later. Now that we've done that, we don't want the rock to be completely void of emerald. We want there to be like little speckles of little ores that are in there because not everything is in one giant group. So to do that, we're going to add a couple noise textures in here. So I'll hit Shift A, search for a noise texture like this. Then I'm going to bring our vector into the vector and then Control Shift and left click. I'm going to change this guy's scale up to a 50 because we want these to be tinier flecks and the detail to a 10 like this. Then I'm going to Control Shift D on this guy to get a second one and just change this one scale to a 75. Sweet. Now I'll hit Shift A. I'm going to search for a math node because we don't want this to be happening everywhere. I'm going to change the function to greater than and plug the factor into the value. And then I'm going to change this threshold here to a 0.7. Nice. So as you can see, we have those little white dots just like we want. Then I'm going to duplicate this math node with Shift D, take this factor into the value, and change this one and leave it at a 0.7, just like that. So now we have this one, smaller ones, and then this one and this one. So now we just have to mix them. So I'll press Shift A, search for a mix RGB, change the blending mode here to add, and then take this value into color 1, this value into color 2, and change the factor here to a 1. Now if I Control Shift and left click, we've got this guy. Nice. So then let's duplicate this one with Shift D, plug this result into color 1 and this into color 2, Control Shift D one more time, And we have this, which is looking really good. And if we want, we can go ahead and check clamp on this guy so we don't get anything that's going beyond 1. Then we're going to plug this guy into our color. So we'll hit Shift A and search for mix RGB. Plug this for the factor of the colors. And then the color 1 is going to be our rock. I'll go ahead and give you a hex value for that as well. You can obviously make this whatever color you want. I'm going to be using a 1F1, F20. Again, that is a 1F1, F20, just like that. And I'll Control Shift left click to preview so you can see what's going on here. Then this emerald color, I'm going to be using a 50C878. Again, that is a 50C878, just like that. Now we can take that color and plug it into the base color here. But currently, this is what it's looking like, and it looks like someone just took some paint and threw it on there because it's not looking like emerald, and the emerald doesn't even look like rock. And that's because of the metallicness and the roughness, because emerald is actually metallic because it's made of this material called beryl, and it is a metal material. Anyways, we're going to hit Shift A. I'm going to search for a math node here, and then we're going to plug this mix node, the final product of our other ones right here, and plug that into our value. Then I'm going to switch this blending mode or function to multiply. If we Control Shift and left click, we can see that as we up this to like a 2, all the whites get brighter, essentially. So now I'm going to check clamp on this guy to make sure we don't go beyond 1. Then if I plug this into our metallic, like this, now if I Control Shift and left click, it's looking a lot better, just like this. But obviously our roughness is still a little bit off, which is not really playing into the effects how we need them to. And so to do that, it's really simple. We're just going to be using one last noise texture. And I'm going to give us some more space here. So I'm just going to grab this and move them up, just like that. Then I can hit Shift right click and then move that node up here to stay organized. Then I'll hit Shift A, search for a noise texture, put that here, Control Shift and left click him, vector to vector, just like this. Then I'm going to hit Shift A. I'm going to search for 2 map ranges because we want to affect the emerald differently than we want to affect the rock. So I'm just going to plug that in, Control Shift D on this map range to get a second one. Then on this noise texture scale, I'm just going to leave it at a 5 and move the detail to a 10. Then this top guy, I'm going to change the 2 minimum value to a 0.25 because this is the minimum roughness we want the rock to be, and the max to a 0.6. Then if we Control Shift this next one, I'm going to change the 2 minimum to a 0.05 and then the 2 max to a 0.3. So the max roughness the emerald will be is a 0.3 and the minimum is a 0.05. And you know the drill on the other one as well is the same thing, but different values. Then we need to hit Shift A and search for Mix RGB, just like this. Take this result into color 1, this result into color 2, and then for the factor, once again, we're using this add node up here, or the mix node, Control Shift D, and as you can see, we have our emerald roughness and our rock roughness. So then I'm just going to bring this guy down and take this color into the roughness. Now if we Control Shift and D, we have our super cool values. So everything is done now except for our displacement, which is awesome. Obviously, you can leave it here. If you are an Eevee, then you're literally done right now because you don't need any displacement, and it still looks pretty good. So now, to do the displacement, I'm going to make sure we go to our layout real quick, and I'm going to give our guy right here a subsurf modifier. So if we go to modifiers, add modifier, subdivision surface. Again, make sure that you are in the cycles experimental so that you can have access to this adaptive subdivision so you can subdivide them adaptively when you render them out. Now that you've done that, head back over to your shading. Then if you go over here and press N on your keyboard, or you can press this arrow right here in your node editor, go down to options, your displacement settings, and change that to displacement and bump. So then we'll hit Shift A, search for displacement node just like this. Then for the guy that comes into him, we're going to be using this mix node here. So we'll take this color and move them into here. And if you need a refresher on what this one is, it is simply the bump from the mortar and the rock respectively. And that comes into this with displacement, and it looks really whack if you preview the displacement. But anyways, I'm going to take the scale on this displacement down to a 0.1, so it's not too strong when we plug it in. Then I'm going to preview the shader again and plug this displacement value into our material output displacement. And as you can see here, it starts popping out really nicely. If you think it's too strong still at a 0.1, you can obviously bring it down to like a 0.05, and it'll make it more subtle, things like that. But anyways, This is the finished material. You've made it through the end. Obviously, if you want to switch the color of your emerald, you can obviously come in here and make it like a gold if you want a gold ore or something like that. If you want something more bronzy, you can obviously make it something red like a ruby, or purple or blue, blah, blah, blah. You can make it whatever color you want. But that is the finished product of the material. Hopefully you enjoy. You can apply this to your rocks. And cool thing before you go, you can also change the scale of the mapping node here. So if you think you think there's too much emerald, you think it should be smaller, you can lower the scale to bring all the sizes up. Or you can up the scale. If you're using a small rock and you don't see any emeralds appearing, you can up the scale and everything gets smaller like that. I'm going to leave it on a 1 though for now, because that's what I prefer. Anyways, that is how you adjust the material and things like that. And hopefully you enjoyed and can use this to look good in your renders. I will see y'all guys in the next one.